right, here we are with Rolando Chamorro. Rolando is the owner and founder of Isabel Cafe Organica in Boquete, Panama. Um, we're going to ask him a couple questions. I'm really excited to hear about learning about this coffee today that we're cooking with. So what is Geisha coffee, Rolando?
Geisha basically is a name. The Geisha is a name of a type of bean, basically, type of bean. But the Geisha, that is the name that the Geisha coffee plant got on 2004. That's when get famous this bean. That was in one of these best of Panama coffee, and then is when they.
That was 2004.
2004, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
And they just rename it as a Geisha because it was a bean that they got on this region in Panama, Boquete specifically. But basically, the name is Geisha, and it's come from Ethiopia. Ethiopia.
In Africa.
In Africa. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's a region in all the coffee come from Africa. That's the basically where the coffee start was in Africa, and then they started spraying it around, and it's a pretty long history, but it's interesting because here actually in Panama before coffee was an orange area, Boquete.
Really?
Boquete used to be a really famous orange.
Like the juice.
Yeah, exactly, to make juice.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
nice. Wow.
But then, they got some diseases on the plants and all that, and then they find out that Boquete elevation to grow the best coffee. So then they start putting coffee in Boquete. That's around 1980s, 1982. Around that time they start planting coffee in Boquete.
Could that be because maybe the rich soil was the volcano?
Is
that possible?
the volcano have had a really good soil for the coffee plants, but then also the micro weathers that we have here. In about 10 minutes you can have a different weather, and you move 5 more minutes and it's sunny, and 10 minutes later it's going to be rainy or misting. So all that basically help the coffee. The coffee need a lot of water and some sun too. So
if we wanted to find out more about the volcano, where would we go? On the internet? What's it called? How do you say it?
The Volcan Baru.
Volcan Baru.
Volcan Baru. Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty famous brand in Panama. You put Volcan Baru, people.
That's B-A-R-U, right?
Yes, correct. Baru.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Well, back to the geisha. So what's unique about growing geisha?
The unique thing of growing the geisha, you would need an elevation. Because the geisha will require a specific elevation, and we're talking about 1,200 meters above sea level until no more than 1,700 meters above sea level. That will be the region that you can grow.
1,700 meters above sea level.
Above sea level, yeah.
Okay.
That's where the best coffee will grow, is on that elevation, and the geisha is one coffee that will require that elevation to produce coffee. You can plant it lower lands, the plant will grow, but we don't produce. So it's because the families of coffee in general is 2 big families. We have the Robusta coffee, and that's the ones that grow 1,000 meters down sea level, and then we have the Arabica coffee. That's the highlands coffee, or kind of that one will grow 1,200 meters above sea level. That will be the elevation.
That's a rate. How do you say that? Arabic.
Arabica. Arabica is the name of it's two families on the coffee. Arabica will grow higher lands, and Robusta will grow lower lands.
And you say that robust in English?
Robusta.
Okay. Robusta.
Yeah, Robusta. I think the names wouldn't change because I think it's Arabica or Robusta. It's two kind of the families.
Fair enough. Now Geisha it's one of the most expensive coffees in the world. Is that?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, not to be confused with the Geisha coffee that comes out of the animal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know much about that one?
Yeah, about the one of the lemur. Yeah,
the civet, or what is it called?
Lemur. I think it's a lemur.
The lemur.
The lemur.
Lemur.
Yeah.
Okay. Different than geisha.
Yeah. That's more something about the animal eating the bean, and he's supposed to pick the right bean and he eat it, and then they harvest it from that, and then they they have to clean it, roast it, and all that. But it's supposed to be the animal, the one picking the best bean.
So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So, okay. Different than geisha though.
Completely.
No
animals involved.
Okay. No animals are hurt either, right?
No.
Oh, that's
not
great.
All.
That's
not
great.
All. This one is more about the unique thing, because you can get a geisha bean and process it as a commercial coffee process and that would taste the same of any other coffee you can buy on a supermarket. You don't find any different. But then if you grab, and I would say any Arabica bean that you grab and you give a really good process, like from the moment you harvest it, the time you allow it to dry on the sun, the time you allow it to get mature, the coffee, before you peel it and before you roast it, that we're talking about a 5 months period that would don't take a commercial coffee. They will process it in 2 days. You have roasted packaged coffee. Instead of this one that is more kind of, a lot of people compare it with wine. They say it's a lot of take care on the coffee, and definitely it's a lot of take care. Take 5 months to, like, when you harvest until you roast, 5 months. So you can allow it to get all that flavors, all that aromas that the coffee have. It's so about the time that you allowed it before you process it. That's what makes it so unique. Because you can get any other Arabica coffee, and just for saying a name, you can get like a Katwai. That's one of the type of a Katwai.
Katoa?
Katwai.
Kadwai.
Katwai.
Katwai.
Katwai is just a different type of Arabica beans.
From a different country, or?
No. It's just a different plant.
Okay.
But it's from the Arabica family, the one in the Highlands.
Italian basil and purple basil. Same
exactly.
thing.
Same thing, just different colors.
Okay.
For saying something, because there is some Katwai that can get yellow when they get ripe. And other ones that will get red when they get ripe. Okay. So it's just kind of different names. But it's more about the expensive of the coffee will go related for, like, how long and how you would say, like, how carefully you do the process.
Right.
That will depend the price on the coffee.
So what is the process?
The process, you can do it 3 ways. You can kind of the ones more know. You can do the natural, proceso natural, or the natural process.
Natural process.
That's the one when we harvest the beans, and we let the beans basically sun dry. With the skin, with the pulp, with everything. You don't take nothing from the bean. You just dry it. Then you have to let it rest for 5 months, and then you peel, and then you roast. That maturity that you want to allow it is to concentrate all the flavors and aromas. You can do the pre-wash. Basically, you harvest coffee and you wash the coffee, and you get the skin out, you get the pulp out, you pass it through water, and then you dry it on the sun. That's one process. But there, in my opinion, you already lost a lot of the flavor that the coffee can get.
When you sun dry it?
When you wash it.
When you wash it?
Yeah, because you have to wash it with a lot of water. So it's going to lose all that sugar, all that thing that contain the bean. Yeah, okay. So that's one process. And then the other one is the honey. The honey process, basically the only thing they do, they grab the bean, they take
honey.
They take the pulp out. But then you will get a bean that is going to be with all the sugar and all the pulp, kind of that.
Right.
It's like a gel around, and then you dry it, and that's the honey process. That's just kind of process how you dry the coffee. You still haven't even roast coffee. That you just dry it. That's the kind of the second step. First step you pick coffee. Second step you dry. Third step you roast coffee.
How many total steps are there?
Will be 3. 4 packaging.
4 packaging.
Yeah, okay. But it's 3.
Where does drinking come in? Is that 5?
That will be 5.
Okay.
That will be 5.
Right. Good.
Exactly.
Good. Well, so what makes your coffee different than there's a few different varieties of Geisha, and it's just kind of confusing. So I mean, why yours?
Why
versus
this one?
The other ones? Yeah.
Well, basically, first of all, we do a completely organic process, so we don't use any pesticides or nothing for like killing bugs or nothing chemic. Basically, we don't use
chemicals.
No chemicals
on the plants. To kill the bugs.
No. We repel bugs, but we don't kill the bugs because until a point you want to have some bugs. You want to have some bugs around the farm. You want to have some bees when the coffee plants they bloom the flowers. You want to have some bees moving that pollen around flower to flower. And there is a lot involved also, like the process Paul was talking.
Right.
So basically our coffee, we do the natural process. That means we harvest the beans and we let them dry with everything on the sun for about 18 days. They dry on the sun. And then after that 18 days, then we put it away they go, it's like kind of big Ziploc bags, you know.
Yeah.
So they go in a plastic bag and then they go in another bag. You save it there for about 5 months to let it get mature, you know, to let it concentrate all that flavors. Then you peel, then we roast it. So that's what I said, you know. And there's some more organic coffees around, but like ours, that's what I say is the unique part of our coffee is that we definitely give a really good take care of the plants and the environment, basically.
Wow. All right. So, how is coffee used other than drinking? What else do you use it for? Is there something you can do with it?
Oh yeah. That's like now that's been used for health.
Health.
Oh yeah, like you can use it for like hair treatments.
Okay.
You can use it for cooking. You can use it for making soap. You can make shampoo.
Soap and shampoo, huh?
Name it.
Wow.
Yeah, coffee have a lot of uses. You can definitely use it in different ways. You know.
That's not why you started your coffee farm, now.
Well, we started kind of more for lucky. Because no, actually, I'm a really big coffee drinker. But I was kind of lucky. We ended in a coffee farm, so then we start getting more.
Now your farm here in Boquete, Panama, was one of the first geisha farms. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and the history of that?
Okay, basically the first geisha plants that they introduced to Panama, that was the Mida. That's it's a government Mida. It's a government office that they kind of try to promote that you bring like new species or like kind of new seeds. Okay. So they was the one that actually introduced that seed into Panama.
So Mida introduced the geisha seed into Panama.
Geisha, yeah. They bring it from Costa Rica. They put it first in Costa Rica. Then they went to Costa Rica. They bring some of that plants and then it was given away to the farmers in Boquete. Because there was on that moment that they was changing from orange farming to start planting coffee. So then they was wanted to introduce like, oh look, this kind of new coffee plant, you know, it's an Arabica, we grow on this elevation, we have the same soil. And it's funny because after that, the geisha coffee in Panama tastes even better than the one in Costa Rica. So it's a thing of a region.
You're just saying that because you're Panamanian.
No. No.
Okay.
It's supposed to be because of the soil here have a different kind of combination of nutrients and the micro weathers too. It's supposed to be why the one here tastes better than the one in other places.
So you excited to see what we're going to cook with your coffee today?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Good to see that coffee releasing that aroma and something else on a cup.
Good. Well, we're going to do a few different things. We have a beef tenderloin that we're going to encrust with a little bit of coffee. We have a mashed potato that we've infused with some of your coffee, and then we're going to finish it all off with an Isabel Cafe Organica cappuccino sauce.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And then we're gonna have just a touch of a cherry gastrique, and then I have some espresso infused salt that we'll finish it off with. Add a nice little flavor, and then we'll add a little bit of smokiness to it as well. So it's gonna be kind of a fun dish.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good. It's starting to feel hungry.
All right, good. Well, let's get cooking, shall we?
Yes,
Ready? All right.